Yo, what's up, Sci-Fam? It's your boy Nickel coming here to teach you a little bit about cells and how they form tissues and how tissues form organs. This is our first science notebook page in Unit 1A for Healthy Body, the musculoskeletal, respiratory, and cardiovascular systems. So if we look at our page, we need to title it Cells, arrow, Tissues, arrow, Organs, and then you'll see some information. We're going to define tissues and talk about organs a little bit. And finally, at the end, we'll discuss homeostasis. All right, so to begin, you can probably guess what's going to go in these three blanks here. And so we're going to begin by looking at how cells are going to form. So if we have a collection of cells, they form tissues. And you have to have tissues as like the fabric that then forms our organs. Now, since we're talking about a multicellular organism, these aren't just any types of cells that form tissues, but these are going to be eukaryotic cells. And that's important because these cells have a whole plethora of organelles, lots and lots of different types of organelles that allow them to function. All right. So let's talk about those tissues. Okay, there's the tissues right there. The tissues are essentially the fabric of an animal body. So if you were to make an animal, you would need tissues in order to make the veins. You need tissues in order to make the brain. You need tissues in order to make the pancreas and the stomach and all the other parts of the animal. In humans, though, we have 4 different types of tissues. And so the first type of tissue that I'm going to define is nervous tissue. Now, this doesn't mean you're nervous to go step in front of a bunch of people, but it means like your nervous system. So this is things like your brain or any of your nerves, like those things that run down your spinal cord. The second type of tissue, this is a fun word here, epi, which means on top of. So epithelial tissue. It's a fancy word to say our skin or our organs, like the inside of our stomach or any hollow organs are going to have some epithelial tissue that makes up their structure. The third type of tissue is the one that we're going to learn most about here in the beginning of Unit 1A, and this is muscle tissue. And muscle tissue makes up our muscles, the things that we talk about a lot if we're trying to get stronger, but it's also our heart. Our heart is an organ that is basically a giant muscle. And last is number 4 is our connective tissue. And connective tissue is used for our ligaments, tendons, and our bones too. So you can see there's 4 types of tissues here, and these 4 types of tissues are what we use as the fabric to make up our different organs. And in total, we have just about somewhere close to 78 organs in our body. I have to say about because some people were born with less organs, or some people have had their appendix removed. Some people have had their other things maybe removed. Not many people have organs added, but some people might be born with an extra brain, or actually not an extra brain, but maybe some extra organ as some type of genetic type of malfunction. So in total, we have somewhere close to 78 total organs in the human body. And it also, the main thing that makes this an estimated amount is because some people define organs as different things. Some people might say your large intestine is a separate organ than your small intestine. So it's all about the definition. But regardless, we have 78 total organs in the human body that are all made up out of the 4 different types of tissues. Now, for example, your heart has muscle tissue. It's not all muscle tissue, it's mainly muscle tissue, but it has to know when to increase its speed and when to decrease its rate at which it pumps the blood. And so it actually has nervous tissue. It has nerves that also make up part of the heart so that our brain can talk to our heart and our heart can talk to our brain. All right, so when we're looking at the organs, there are 5 vital organs, which means you have to have these organs in order to live and survive. These 5 vital organs are mainly our brain, number 1. Number 2, our heart to pump the blood. Number 3, our lungs to get oxygen into that blood. Our kidneys and our liver, which are both used to help detoxify our body. All right, so in order for all of this to work, in order for our body to continue to work at its most optimal function, we have to be in this thing that we call homeostasis. And homeostasis is our body's ability to maintain a consistent temperature. When cells get too hot, they don't work. When cells get too cold, they don't work. They have to be right in a perfect range. And that range for humans is anywhere between 95 degrees Fahrenheit to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. So make sure you add those units there. We're counting the degrees in degrees Fahrenheit, not in Celsius. We're not using seconds, minutes, grams, pounds, anything like that. So the units for temperature here is degrees Fahrenheit. So cells have to be somewhere between 95 and 107 degrees Fahrenheit in order for them to maintain their ideal function so that they can actually work and do their job. On average, so if you were to take all humans, the main healthy average that we say is that humans' healthy temperature is something like 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, since it's an average, we're looking at billions of people's data. So if yours is a little bit more than this or a little bit less than that, that's still okay. But on average, we're somewhere around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you've ever gotten a fever before, you know that that temperature has increased closer to 107, but probably up into the 100s. So even a 100 degree temperature can mean that you have a fever. That's when your body increases the temperature to fight off infection. And if it drops down lower, that's where you can then have the danger of hypothermia, where your body starts to shiver to try to warm up to increase your body's heat, but it's unable to increase the heat enough. So we'll talk about different mechanisms that our body has to maintain homeostasis in class. But for now, just know that there is a very specific temperature range that humans must remain within in order for proper cell function. All right, I'll see you on the next page. Peace.